Okay, we're back. We ended the last episode talking about Mcfarlane bragging about his AAA bond rating, and I think that pretty much illustrates what the problem is with public transportation in the United States. When achieving a AAA bond rating is your goal, that's what you're proud about. What else do you need to know about the real purpose of public transportation? I know nobody says it. Nobody believes it when I say the purpose of public transportation is to funnel money into people's pockets. It's not to provide public transportation. And people poo-poo that idea, but unfortunately for everybody, that's the truth.
Tell you is that Moody's and Standard & Poor's, two independent rating agencies, have granted TriMet the highest AAA bond rating. We are the only transit district of our type that has a AAA rating, and the first that was granted by both those agencies at the same time. So we feel that the conservative policies that we've been following in terms of debt, in terms of managing our costs, and frankly some very hard-nosed negotiations.
I mean, you have to wonder, why is debt even brought into this? This is a tax-funded organization, okay, the payroll tax, but yet they have this huge debt. See, this is the problem with all of government services. It's used to pump up this financial fiat currency system. So there's no reason that I can see for all these transit agencies to be hauling all of this debt around other than to make profit for the banks on the backs of the citizens.
With our labor union over the last few years have really paid some very important dividends for the region in terms of financially solid TriMet.
I'm not sure if you heard that, but he mentioned the union there, and what he was referring to is the TriMet executives and their sock puppet board has stripped away our European-style health care. You know, all the advanced Western societies other than the United States, citizens have full health coverage. And we at TriMet had that. That was one of the great things that TriMet had, was that you work at TriMet, you get European-style health. Well, Mcfarlane and his sock puppets saw that ended, and not only did he end it, but he screwed all of the people that were retired under the assumption that their health care was going to be paid for. And that's the unconscionable act, is that he made no grandfather clause for the people that were already retired. And I mean, that hit me hard. I lost somewhere between 25 and 30% of my retirement because I have to pay the copay, and if I get sick, it pretty much wipes out a huge portion of my piddly little retirement.
So, with that as sort of a background about where TriMet is, let's turn to some of the challenges that we face as a region here. The good news is that we live in a very enviable place. Despite the rain this morning, we know that this is a place that's growing in both population and jobs. This slide sometimes looks like a test at your optometrist's office. But what I use this to demonstrate is that over the next 20 years, we're expected to grow by 4 cities of Hillsborough. So you take the...
So he just said that the area is going to grow by 4 city of Hillsboroughs in the next 20 years. And this is the same line that's been heard in LA and Seattle. You know, if we don't do this, we're going to have too many people. It's interesting because what the reality of that situation is, you see, government policy is allowing this building to go on unhampered. There's no policy to stop building or stop bringing people in. They'll bring in as many people as want to come here because that's all money. They look at this as an opportunity for a tax base. Okay? So the government is going to create this problem by having no limit on the amount of people that can move here. But then that creates the other problems of the congestion, and then they come back to the citizens and say, oh, look, you can't move in it. You can't even go down the highway. It's terrible. Give us your money so we can fix it. Do you understand the connections there? Government creates the problem, and then they come to the citizens for money to solve the problem that they created.
Population of Hillsborough multiplied times 4, 400,000 people are projected to move to this region. 400,000 residents, 260,000 jobs. So add those additional.
I have no idea where he gets this idea that there's 260,000 more jobs coming here in the next 20. I have no idea where that figure comes from.
Trips onto the transportation system we currently have, whether you're talking the road system or the transit system, and you begin to see the challenges that our region will be facing. It's an enviable challenge. It means that we have a region that is providing opportunity for ourselves, for our children, for our grandchildren, and that's all good and something we can be very proud of. But we do have to step up to the challenges that growth will mean for our transportation system. Because a lot more cars and a lot more commute trips could mean that there's a lot more congestion. And let me move to that.
There's already incredible congestion in Portland. It ranks number 12 in the country. And I've been on the road at rush hour in the Portland area, and every highway is packed to capacity and moving slow. So all you can say about that is the planners so far have failed to solve the congestion. They haven't done anything about it. It's gotten worse. Okay, there's been zero progress in solving Portland congestion. It's getting worse and worse and worse. So what leads you to believe that they're going to solve it with this? It shouldn't cause you any kind of confusion. If they haven't been able to fix it so far, what makes you think they're going to fix it with this? They're not going to fix it, okay? It's not the point.
The Portland Business Alliance does a study every couple of years called the Cost of Congestion Study. And what it begins to show that by 2040, the growth is projected to cause another 50% more car trips in our region and 75% more freight trips. So that added to our current system begins to demonstrate, I believe, the challenge that we as a region are going to be facing in terms of maintaining our mobility and our quality of life, which is closely associated with that mobility.
The so-called quality of life argument, because Portland has this great quality of life. That's another one of those myths that's been perpetuated over and over and over by the Portland Metro TriMet propaganda team, which it's a great quality of life. Well, it's a great quality of life if you have money, okay, which they always fail to talk about. And it's not a great quality of life if you've been gentrified and you've been kicked out of the city. I was even a victim of gentrification. Okay, I ended up having to leave because of gentrification. So the quality of life argument is bullshit, okay? And I hope people realize this is rhetoric.
If not addressed, this will end up becoming an impediment to growth in employment and jobs in this region. But the good news is that if we invest appropriately in the transportation system, both roads and transit, we can blunt the impact of future congestion. And if we do that smartly, we can actually grow the income and opportunity available to our residents in our region. You know, every dollar that you invest in transportation, we get about $2.40 in return in terms of added economic prosperity to the region.
So his argument is if you give us $1 of tax money, we're going to get $2.40 of economic prosperity. I have no idea how they calculate that, and it sounds like a bunch of baloney. But whatever, I'm sure there's some kind of formula they're using.
So growth is one of the big challenges that we face. But another challenge I wanted to touch on is the change in demographics and population in our region. If you think about it, 20 and 30 years ago, in our region, the populations of minority and low-income individuals were largely concentrated close to the central city in northeast Portland and near and southeast. Well, guess what? That has changed dramatically over the last few years. As people who are low income, communities of color have moved to more affordable areas further out, like East Portland.
Low income income communities and communities of color moved. They moved. No, they didn't move. They were gentrified right out of the city. And they were gentrified out because the city policy, TriMet policy, intentionally created that gentrification. That was intentional. These people that are running these agencies wanted this to happen. That's why it happened.
And even out here in parts of Washington County. That's created a difficult situation for us because it means we really have to retool the transit system to serve those populations well. We have remaining, we continue great and very heavily utilized transit service in Anna Portland, but we need to see that quality of service develop throughout the rest of the region, including where we are today. So that's another big challenge. These maps begin to show some of the spreading of those populations that I mentioned out to the suburban areas of our region.
It's surprising that he's making this pitch about East Portland and poor communities and all of that, because what does he want? He wants a light rail line to Tigard. That's what he wants. Okay, so this is all rhetoric and hyperbole. He's not being honest. This is a con job. Okay, he's talking about poor communities, but what he wants is a light rail line to Tigard to keep the light rail mafia moving. Okay, that's the people that he wants to keep funding. Is this whole planner cabal, construction cabal, this idea that light rail should be everywhere in the area somehow.
And that's happened, frankly, both with communities of color as well as low-income communities as well. So, the good news of that is that we have been working over the last few years with our local communities to begin to address the future of transit throughout the region. We've begun a series of efforts called service enhancement plans, actually completed these service enhancement plans over the last 2 to 3 years. And you should know Washington County is actually home to 2 of these service enhancement plans, one for the west side, one for the southwest. And then this was an attempt to work directly with communities, with employers, with chamber organizations, with the cities and the counties, to actually address the transit needs in the future in all of these areas. These are long-term visions, but with that long-term vision, we know that we can begin to make progress. So let's look at the west side for a minute. This is maybe you don't recognize the street names, but hopefully you can begin to recognize the concept here, which is a whole lot of new service in Washington County and Southwest Portland. Here's what this map includes. It includes news.
All right, this is a good place to stop this segment. It's going to take a long time to go through his stuff and do it properly. We'll stop here. He's going to lay out his grand vision, and so that should be interesting. I'll just make another comment. I'm not going to put up any more. I mean, I hate to do this, but I'm not going to put up any more disrespectful pictures of Neil, with dicks on his head, and I'm going to stop all that. And why am I going to stop doing that? Because I guess I should make some attempt to actually be heard. Okay. I've had this debate with my friends and before, and I said, look, we're not going to get hurt anyway, okay? It doesn't matter what we have to say. They're not going to listen to us. So if they're not going to listen to us, why shouldn't I put dicks on his head and make fun of them and do everything I can to be disrespectful to them? Because why shouldn't I? It's just fun for me to do that. It's enjoyable. Because, they're abusing, I know this a long time ago and I really should be over it, and I am over it, all of that stuff that happened to me at TriMet. But what the result of all of that was this fascination I developed with public transportation is how that all developed, where I'm now 5 years later and I'm still blogging TriMet and still reading public transportation. It became an object of fascination for me. and it will probably continue that way until I can move. I keep finding myself stuck in places where I can't leave. So there's nothing else for me to do besides watch TV and blog. So I've been doing this for 5 years now, and so in honor of trying to be not ignored because I'm putting dicks on Neil's head and making fun of everybody, I'm going to stop doing that and try to be like serious about stuff.